Have sex with other people because
Thank you.
because they've seen the marriage as an institution, and they think there are people in marriages who would never think of cheating, and they're miserable, and they don't cheat. Everything they do is above board, and if they meet somebody, they go out on a date, they may go to dinner, and they bring them home. So you're likely then, Deborah, to meet someone that Paul might see into, you know, as a couple, huh?
Oh, definitely. Yeah. In fact, we really prefer it that way.
And sometimes Paul brings a woman home, and you guys, what do you have, tea and...
Yeah, we like tea. Uh-huh.
Right. Dinner. But it's a normal thing.
Yeah,
and then and then you might go to bed with this woman while you retire for the evening in your own bedroom. Is that what I understand happens?
It could happen.
Different arrangements.
Could happen.
This is not swinging.
Not
No.
swinging.
This isn't like anything goes. There's a certain decorum expected of each of you, is it?
Well, not only that, but most of our other sexual partners are people who've been friends of ours for years.
Yeah, and I would say it's not swinging because, you know, we're interested in relationships. We really want to build long-term relationships, and we want to have more than one. And so that's what we're about.
Yeah, we're not interested in recreational sex. We did that when we were teenagers, and we've outgrown that.
You're adults now, and
Yeah.
all you're saying is that you love each other, you always will, till death do you part, I assume you feel.
Yes.
But you recognized, apparently before you were married, you discussed this. Do I understand this?
Well, that's how we
Absolutely.
met, as a matter of fact. Deborah and I worked together on an Internet Resource Center, and this is a group which was founded to promote these ideas, and we worked together for a year before we even held hands.
Uh-huh. So you probably feel that monogamy for some people is just not, it's an unnecessary artificial restraint on one's life. Do I have this?
Exactly. It doesn't work for everybody. If it works for you, terrific. It didn't work for me.
You're not selling this. You're not saying that you want to impose this on society.
No, we want to deregulate marriage. We don't want marriage to be contrived and bottled up into only one possibility. There's many, many possibilities for the way people can relate, and monogamy is one of them, and there's many others.
And Deborah, you acknowledge that you are jealous of sometimes of these women, huh?
Yeah, jealousy is a very natural thing, and I've experienced jealousy, but that doesn't cause me to say, well, I've got to be monogamous because I might get jealous. So I get jealous, big deal.
This culture enshrines jealousy and makes it a place where you have to listen to the jealousy and change your relationship based on the jealousy. And what we're suggesting is using the jealousy to learn about yourself and not to control your relationship.
You don't have to lose control just because you're jealous.
Uh-huh. You are not shocked at the gasps of this audience. You see these gasps as an expression of a society which I assume you feel has a pretense toward monogamy when in reality everybody gasping knows somebody who's fooling around. Is this speak for you?
The statistics are very strong.
Yeah, we've been
over
researching.
70%
So this is
of
baloney,
people.
then we're kidding ourselves, and you are just more honest about it, huh?
That's what we believe. We've been researching this for 10 years, and what we found is that there's all kinds of different ways that people can structure a relationship, some of which are monogamous and some of them aren't, and they all work for different people.
Are you there, caller?
Yes, I am.
What do you think?
I think these people are a little bit too old to be playing these games. I'm 22.
Yeah. How old is too old?
How old is too old? Oh, I don't know. I'm 22, and I don't play those games.
You're married?
No, I'm not.
But boy, when you get married, it's going to be forever and monogamous.
Yes, it will be.
And he isn't even going to get one strike, is he?
No way, Jose.
He's out of here.
That's right.
Yeah. Well, I say again, the Anapolls do not say this is not for everybody. Are you there?
Yes.
What do you think?
Hello. Well, I was married, Bill, for 15 years. I'm calling from Massachusetts. I'm 37.
Yeah.
I threw my husband out 3 years ago. He was dating, and that's when I found out. He brought me home chlamydia and venereal warts. If that's what you call a marriage, these people better end it now, because I ain't trying to live like this. I have 2 grown children. I wouldn't trust a man again.
Yeah,
Well,
let's talk about that.
I empathize with this woman. We don't do things outside of knowing what each other is up to in the first place. And, you know, we check this out beforehand, so this is not something you would find out afterwards.
Yeah, that's why we believe that this is so important, because there are so many people out there cheating and bringing home diseases to their partners who think that they're monogamously married.
So you think you're safer than would be a woman?
Oh, yeah. Why should he lie to me?
Are you there, caller?
Yes.
What do you think?
Well, you're going to probably drop dead on this one. I'm 72 years old. And the same experiences that you're talking about today, my wife and I participated in when we first were married over 50 years ago.
No.
Yes, sir.
Well, I haven't dropped dead, but I do feel a little dizzy. You better explain this to us.
Well, we both went to the same high school in a very rural town.
Yeah.
And there was nothing, any religion or anything behind it as far as...
No restraints, no cultural inhibition. Is that your point?
That's right.
And you what?
We just had a group of friends that we kind of palled around with. I had an old 29 Buick Roadster with a rumble seat, and we just got together with the friends, went out to the lake, and just had fun.
And A might go to bed with D or C or G.
Well, it didn't always have to happen that way, but occasionally it did. And out of the 6 couples involved, 4 of them got married, and 4 of us stayed married over 50 years.
All right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And you've been married for? How long have you been married?
Well, my late wife and I were married 50 years.
I see. You lost your wife when?
6 years ago.
Now, but obviously, did this go away then in the later years of your marriage? You didn't do this.
Yes, after about 10 years, things kind of leveled off, and we just the friends that were in our circle moved away and different things like that.
Yeah.
And it just kind of stayed between between my wife and myself from that time on.
And she died knowing you loved her. She loved you.
Absolutely.
And what was the name of the town?
Huh?
What was the town?
It was a small town in Upper Michigan.
Upper Michigan.
In the Upper Peninsula, called Baraga.
Oh, I see. Up in the Upper Peninsula.
Yes, sir.
Mackinac.
Upper in Baraga. You know where the Calumet and the Iron Country is?
Yeah, well, but in 1929, boy, that must have been pretty wild up there.
It was. A lot of Indians, a lot of wolves, a lot of bears.
Right. Hey, hang on.
Had to stick together.
Hang on just a second. Well, who is this woman? You don't know, do you? Is she one of the visitors to the... You think so? Well, her name is Suzann Robbins. She was married. Incidentally, Deborah, you were married twice. This is your third marriage.
This is my 3rd marriage. I was married...
Now...
I tried it twice monogamously, and I realized that monogamy didn't work for me. And this is for life, because I don't have to divorce Paul just because I find somebody else that I like.
Yeah. Suzann, you were married, but you decided during your marriage you wanted to see other people. Is that right?
Yes.
And you told your husband?
Yes.
He must have died.
He didn't die.
But he had to be shocked. Come on.
We talked about it at great length.
Yeah. But obviously he said, I mean...
It wasn't for him.
It wasn't for him. He chooses to be in a monogamous relationship. He likes the idea of relating to only one person and being faithful to that one person.
And you bring no criticism to them.
I bring no criticism. We're still good friends. I've met his girlfriend, and I enjoy getting to know her and being together with my children and her, too. It's about communication. It's about, he'll always be my friend.
Right. And you have... Did you not meet Paul, or did you meet Deborah, or Paul first?
I met them together.
And did you meet him at an event at which this sort of would be understood, that you were interested in this kind of lifestyle?
Yes, that we started.
Uh-huh. And then you went over and visited, and do I understand that nothing intimate ever transpired?
Right.
Oh, well, this is boring, then. What are you doing?
Well, it wasn't boring because there was a possibility of us being intimate, and we were exploring that. And, you know, we wanted to see where it worked. We had a nice head connection. We had a nice spiritual connection. We wanted to see if we had a nice emotional and physical connection. Turns out we didn't. So we said, okay, we're friends. And we're proceeding from there.
Would you want to add something?
Well, and we realize that there's only a few people sometimes in the world that think the same way we do. We want to continue building community together, being family together. It's not just about whether or not we're going to have sex together. It's about caring about each other and sharing many more goals and values with each other than just that particular interest.
So, first of all, you want to say that those of us who are on the outside ogling this should understand, first of all, that this isn't about sex and jumping in bed all the time, huh?
Exactly.
It can involve an intimate expression with another person's husband, but you would never, for example, sleep with Paul without Deborah's knowledge.
Right.
Okay. Although that did not happen. It's not a commune, but it leans that way. Do I understand this? You want more people in your life, and you would like these relationships to occasionally be intimate.
The word community feels better for me than commune, because we're looking to build community, to live in close proximity to each other, with some people under the same roof. We're not going to want to live under the same roof with everyone, but we feel that to be able to have the option to have more than one mate, to be able to live with both men and women, and to share finances, to share ecological, child-rearing things, that it's better for everybody, to share cars, to share appliances, that all of that works toward building a better future.
Susan, I'll give my own prejudice away and just say that, you know, you look so straight. When did you start thinking about this?
When I was about 14 years old.
Really?
And I realized that when I started feeling interest in things like sex, that I was hard to pick just one person, but the truth was I had the same boyfriend from when I was 11 till I was 21, so obviously I was able to have a long-term relationship, but I often thought about my interest in other people and had a lot of friends and was willing to feel those feelings and to talk with my boyfriend about it, but not act on them. And that back and forth pull, I never understood jealousy. If he wanted to go out with somebody else, that was all right. If he was attracted to somebody else, that was all right. I didn't understand why people would only choose one person.
That's very unusual. I mean, you know, women and men cry all weekend. The broken heart, she doesn't love me, she loves the quarterback, all that. You didn't have any of this?
I didn't feel that. I mean, what I found in my experience is that when I express that to other people, I find other people who understand and feel the same way. Not everybody is jealous.
Not everybody gets nuts about it. Okay.
Right. Just those are the people that make all the noise, so that's what we hear about.
Really?
Yeah.
So you were sexually active as a teenager then? You weren't a late...
Wait. When you say sexually active,
well,
I never had intercourse until I got married.
Oh, really? And you dated this guy from the time you were 11 to you were 21?
Right. And
then you didn't marry him?
No, I didn't marry him.
Well,
I met my husband at that point and married him instead and stayed married for another 21 years.
So, well, this is important because you did have traditional values then. You weren't going to give yourself to the man until you were married to him.
Right.
I see. So what would the amateur analyst say about that? Is that contributing in any way to your... Is it possible you're rebelling against what you believe to be as an orthodoxy?
There's probably some of that.
Some of that.
But and also what I found now that I'm older is that sensuality is even more important than sexuality, and being able to touch and caress and hold more than one person is very appealing. It's not just about sex.
And you have there's a man in your life now?
There's a man in my life.
Just one man?
At the moment, but he's willing to be in an open relationship with me also. And interested in...
How do you meet people if you're, you know...
We talk about it. We communicate. We express our goals and values and interests. And
I know, but how would you together... How do you date if you got a girlfriend? I mean, I don't understand how you do this. I mean, he can go out to Burger King and look around, or how do you do this?
Well, again, it's like with Deborah and Paul. We prefer to already say we are a couple, and if anybody is... we would like to meet another couple who would be interested in this idea of the
I see.
communal or community living.
So this would be like an ad then, in a classified.
That's one way people do it.
I see. Are you there, caller? Sorry, give you a chance. Are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah, you wanted to say.
Oh, this is so weird. Okay. No, it's
Totally.
just like so prophetic. I have this friend. I've known him for 9 years. We just became intimate for like a month now, right?
You just became what?
Intimate for a month now. Okay.
Oh, intimate. All right. Excuse me.
All
Yeah.
right. So anyway, so it's like really weird. Don't laugh. Okay, no, it's just that he was saying that I wasn't experienced enough, and I kind of was like really sheltered. And so I told him every time I talked about this certain friend of mine, I really acted like I liked him. So he told me like to go ahead and do it. And so we made the call today.
Yeah.
And I have a date Sunday with this guy.
Yeah.
Just so that I can like be well-rounded and.
You're going out with a guy Sunday?
Yes.
And is it your boyfriend or your husband?
No.
Your boyfriend? No, I mean the.
Boyfriend.
She's not married, right?
No.
She's not married, but she has a boyfriend.
Yes.
And the boyfriend, she can see this other guy?
Yes, he suggested it. It sounds weird, but it's not. Oh, it is weird, huh?
Is it, in other words, and so you may be intimate with this other guy Sunday, huh?
Yes.
Really?
Yes. I'll let you guys know.
Where are you going to see him?
Haven't decided that yet. We're going to talk.
And you're good, but you'll be home Sunday night to tell your boyfriend about your date.
You got it.
And how about, could your boyfriend go see another girl?
Yes.
How old are you?
Well, I'd rather not say.
Just give us a ballpark.
All right, between 25 and 40.
Well, that's Shea Stadium, you know.
Well,
That's a pretty big
ballpark,
ballpark.
isn't it? It is a ballpark.
Yeah. Do you want to marry your boyfriend?
I haven't really thought about it, but I do know that if you're safe and you're sort of learning about the world and you've got a good friend by your side who's willing to stick by you for it,
Yeah.
you know, I've decided I'd like to do it. I mean,
Yeah. Now, you told your boyfriend that you got real kind of funny feelings when you saw this other guy.
No. He said that I displayed those things whenever I talked about this particular person. And I denied it up and down.
But it was
So
true.
I said, well, yeah.
And he said, so why don't you see him?
Yeah, and I thought he was pulling my leg, and we made the call.
Yeah. Did you call him or did you both call him?
I called. With my
what did
boyfriend
you
in the
say
room.
when you called him?
Pardon?
What did you say to him?
Well, I kind of did the old, well, I have this friend type thing who I'm interested in, and I got the advice, and he suggested, well, maybe you shouldn't, or maybe you should, but make sure it's like, I was just saying I wanted to do it once just to see what it was like and not have any, like, ties afterwards, to just have the same friendship with this person.
Yeah.
Because I'm close to the person that I'm going to see Sunday.
Yeah. Well, Dr. Ruth would want you to know
Yeah.
that you should bring a condom.
Well, no, I've already established it. Hold on a second.
I got a break.
Well, now hold on a second, because that's what I said. I said it'd be, as long as it was done safely, and that's exactly what I'm talking about. I
Yeah.
want to be here to, like, tell my grandchildren about this.
Right.
Okay?
Well, yeah. Well, will you call us Monday?
If you want me to, I definitely will.
Yeah, call us.
I
From
will.
what state are you calling?
New York.
New York. Oh, I didn't think this happened in New York.
Yeah, right. You thought it's from California, right?
It's everywhere.
Yeah, you're not surprised by this call. This is the kind of person that you think is out there, and
Yes.
all
Our
right.
research shows that there are a lot of people that do this.
Really? Well, we're along in this. Thank you very much. Our best to your boyfriend.
Thank you.
Well, best to all of you.
Yeah, to all of you. Yeah.
No, really, thank you.
You bet.
Bye.
Yeah. God, it's totally weird. and we'll be back in just a moment.
I want to know if you have children or you plan on having children and what you plan on telling your children when you bring home someone and have sex with them.
Paul and I have 2 children. I have one daughter from a previous marriage who's almost 20, and I got aware that I was non-monogamous when she was about 13, so she's kind of watched me go through all this, and at this point, she respects my choice, and she has a different choice. She wants to be monogamous. And we also have a small child.
What's the hand for?
What about diseases? Aren't you worried? I mean, I don't care if you know the person or not.
We practice safe sex.
How do you practice safe sex?
Well, not only that, but we get to know the people. Most of the people that we're involved with, we've known for 10, 15 years.
Oh, it doesn't matter.
Why did you bother to get married?
Well, we believe in a lifetime commitment. I have a lifetime commitment to this woman, and I want that to go on and on.
But you know,
I want to include other people
I'm
in
married,
that.
and I mean, let's face it, everybody is attracted to other human beings. That's human nature.
Yeah.
Human nature. Phil. I'm very attracted to Phil. But the point I'm getting at is, why bother getting married if you're going to go ahead and have, you know, sex, or if you're whatever? Why bother?
Yeah,
right?
Yeah,
Why not just stay single, be committed to him and others, but why make that, is it a spiritual thing, that bond with you? I just don't understand it.
Marriage is about a spiritual lifetime commitment and building a family, not about monogamy.
Did you have a religious ceremony, or was just,
Yes, we had a religious ceremony.
What kind?
What kind?
It's not a brand name religion.
That includes other future partners. Okay, I'm sorry. My question is, I hear a lot about long-time commitment, and I haven't heard the word love. Does this enter your relationship?
They say they love each other.
I didn't hear them say it. It's more of a commitment.
Yeah, we're not interested in having sex without love. So we love each other, and we love other people that we're sexual with.
Are you there, caller?
I was curious as to how many different sexual partners either the wife or the husband might have during a one-year period.
I've had 2 different partners this year on 2 occasions each.
And I think I've had the same, I think 2.
So this is not, every Saturday night. This is not swinging. We're interested in long-term commitment relationships.
Okay, is there ever...
Okay, you state that, you got married for a commitment.
Right.
And it says in the marriage vows, forsaking all others.
Well, those are some marriage vows.
Those are some marriage vows. I know a lot of people can make their own marriage vows now. But, but why, what do you get out of it? Does it satisfy you, the both of you, to do this?
Yeah.
Is it gratifying to both?
Yes, I want to be, I was never married for 40 years. I could not find a woman who would agree with me. I got rejected all the time. And I found a woman who agrees with me. I want to marry that woman, you bet.
Yeah. And we'll be back in just a moment. Hi, I'm glad you waited. Are you there, caller?
Yes, I'm here.
You wanted to say? Yeah.
I just found myself in the same kind of a position.
Really?
And we found a fellow that we were interested in, and I had sex with him. My husband had sex with his girlfriend. And I'm watching these women laughing in the audience. It was more my husband's idea, and he had had an affair years and years ago, and I had decided that maybe this was something to do. Well, it ended up the other fellow fell in love with me. And I think men have sex for sex, women have sex for intimacy. And it's fun, and it's exciting, and they're paying attention to you. And anyway, I ended it. That was the end of it. I love my husband. I'm still with my husband.
How long ago was this?
Oh, about 5 or 6 years ago.
I see. But you've healed, you and your husband, Chris. There was no cheating.
There was no cheating. There was nothing...
Does he know that you had a love affair with this guy?
No.
I see.
No, he thought it was just going to be, this is fun.
Right. So your point is this is dangerous, and it almost...
I think very dangerous. If you're, it's fun. It was great. I don't have a problem, sex-wise. But if you're in love with someone, especially, it's dangerous for a woman. I think men can, change yourselves where sex is just sex. They look at it as an object. Women look at it as an intimate thing.
Right. I do have another couple I want you to meet here. Charles and Fred. No kidding. Her name is Fred. They were married 20 years ago. Uh-huh. What happened? You got divorced in 1982.
We really shouldn't be on this show, Phil.
And you've been happy ever since.
Because this is a show about unconventional marriages, and we're divorced.
Well,
So we're not married.
You're divorced, but you live together.
Right. Actually, it was 30 years ago. I hate
It's a
to admit it.
monogamous divorce.
Yeah. Now let's understand this. How long were you married before you got divorced?
20 years.
20 years.
We've been married 20 years, divorced 10.
Right. And as your marriage made its way into the second decade,
Right.
you found things routine, not so much.
right,
Maybe the
that's
intimacy wasn't as frequent. You guys were bickering, and you had here a kind of not altogether happy relationship. And so you decided you'd get divorced.
Well, finally, our kids suggested it.
So you got divorced.
Yeah.
Yes, we did get divorced.
You got divorced with no intention of moving out of each other's lives.
Exactly. It's a monogamous divorce. We divorced so we could be together. That's the
You
marriage
divorced so
was
you could be happier.
The marriage was
That's right.
splitting us up, causing a lot of problems.
The
and so-
institution of marriage was putting a ceiling on our feelings for each other.
They've been happy ever since. More sex, more intimacy, more
Right.
love, more happiness
Yes.
since they got divorced.
That was pretty good.
Hi, Phil. I'd like to ask a second couple, do you live together now, or do you live separately?
Always together and still together.
Never been apart.
I have a question for the first couple. Do you have gay relationships?
I'm sorry, Kate?
Gay relationships? Well, if we were gay, we wouldn't be together.
A fling, she wants to know. A fling?
Well, I happen to be heterosexual.
And I'm interested and I'm open to relating sexually to women.
Now, just a minute. We left Charles and Fred here, divorced. You are both artists, so you're bohemian in the nicest kind of creative way. You're not mainstream.
Yes,
Folks never were, I guess.
Sort of, yes.
So this, it is hard to understand how the mere identity, the legal identity of a relationship could change the behavior of the people in it. I'm sure you
I
understand.
think there are a whole lot of laws that people are not fully aware of when they enter into that contract, and there are laws between the parties and the state, and such as
Very
spousal
complicated.
support. In other words, there are obligations set up, dependencies set up.
Financial.
Really? For example, if you were married and you had a bad loan out and you lost your job, the bank could come after her.
No, it's the other way around.
the other way
You see,
around.
the husband is the person upon whom she's dependent. The husband is responsible for her financially
debts.
when it comes down to it. And so this was something
And that
we didn't
casts
like.
the woman in a role of total dependency on the man for, you know,
I see.
her
Technically.
responsibilities.
Uh-huh. And so you would say to those people out there that might be having one of the options here would be divorce
Exactly.
without moving out.
Exactly.
Not moving out, it solves the
And you
in-law-
don't see anybody else. You're both monogamous and faithful to each other in divorce.
I'm sorry to say that's
So
the
death
truth.
do us part. And Phil,
What?
it solves the whole in-law problem.
Is it true you feel no obligation then to his in-laws, because, to his
Absolutely
parents?
not.
'Cause-
That's why I got divorced. I didn't want to spend another Christmas with the in-laws.
And we'll be back in just a moment. You there, caller?
Yes.
Hang on a minute. Charles and Fred, now I just want to make sure this audience understands you. You are saying to them that you love each other more, you're happier now, you don't fight as much, the sex is better more often. Everything about your relationship improved the day you got divorced.
That's what we're...
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it began to improve when we began thinking about this, and then the actual divorce, it went through the roof.
Are you there, caller?
Yes, I am.
What do you think?
I'm calling to say that I've been married for 12 years to a great man. For my 11-year anniversary, we just celebrated our 12. My 11-year anniversary, my husband gave me the permission to have sex with other men for an anniversary present. He's a great man. He knows the man I've been with. We've been having a relationship now for a year. My husband is friends with him. It's made our sex life much better. And I agree. I think more to love, it's best.
Yeah. How did he do this? Did he wrap it up and give it to you in a package, or how do you do this?
Verbal. We're very close. Strong communication. Trust. Love.
Yeah. Now, you didn't have a guy when he gave you this permission.
No, I did not.
So then what did you do? Go out alone at night, or?
Yeah.
Really? Uh-huh.
With his permission.
Yeah. And he stayed home.
Yes.
And he isn't seeing anybody.
No.
Does he want to?
He says no.
And your intimate life with your husband continues?
Oh, it sure does, and it's better than ever.
Better than ever. And how often do you see the other guy?
Oh, about a couple times a week. And
Has your husband met the other guy?
Oh, yes, yeah. And they're friends.
They're friends.
Yeah. And if my husband says I have a nice butt, the guy agrees.
Cut out the middleman. Cut out the middleman. You don't need to go to these extremes. All you have to do is just, get rid of marriage. Then the feelings will come for your initial relationship.
Well, but don't miss this point now. She's saying she's happily married.
Oh, we're very happily married.
She doesn't need any improvement.
I don't need anybody else. It's just that was my husband's suggestion as a gift to me, and I accepted that, and we experimented with it.
Does anybody want to talk to her?
I maintain.
Hang on a minute, caller.
If my husband told me that I can have an affair with a man on my 12th anniversary, I'd be very insulted.
There'd be no 13th then.
If you're really in love, your whole heart would be filled with love, and you would never want to go touch another person. What I see here is a lot of lack of self-control and lack of love.
If my heart is filled with love, I want to share that with this person and with another person.
How do you handle traditional family holidays?
I invite the in-laws.
And in the case of Fred and Charles, you don't have your in-laws over at all.
Not anymore, no.
Not since you got divorced. How long have you been happily divorced?
10 years.
10 years.
This is for Paul. Well, I've long contended that monogamy, I think it may be moral, but may not be natural. Would you elaborate on that as far as what's your persuasion on the natural end if you're meeting someone? Is that what you try to tell them? Don't address the moral question, the natural question.
I would agree with that. I think that we see evidence for thousands of years that people are not, a lot of people are not naturally monogamous. Some may be. I don't even want to take that argument. But a lot of people aren't. It happens all the time. We've made people wrong by trying to frame it as immoral, and all it does is make people unhappy and have low self-esteem. And cheat and lie about it. And what if you never had to cheat and lie again?
Are you there? Hi.
Hi. Phil, yes, I'm 27 years old now. I was married at the age of 19 to a 35-year-old man. Prior to that, I had maybe 2 relationships, sexual relationships. During my marriage, I had feelings harbored of wanting to have other sexual partners. My husband and I tried it, and during the session, he couldn't get excited, so things didn't work out. And neither did our marriage ultimately because of these feelings. So I do agree with the first couple in that it is something that is an individually based feeling, and it is something that is up to the individual and how they feel personally.
But it didn't work for you.
It didn't work for us.
Us.
It works for me now in the relationship that I'm in now. And not only am I able to have another sexual partner male, I occasionally like to see women. So because of the fact of the communication with my current boyfriend, it makes the bond between us even better.
And does he see anybody else?
He sees one other person.
And have you met her?
Yes, I have.
And everything's hunky?
Everything is fine.
All right. I do thank you. From where are you calling?
New York.
Oh, New York. New York, you're going to hell. Are you there, caller? Hi.
Yes, I am.
Yeah.
I always was brought up to think that marriage was the unity of 2 people into one, not 2, 4, 6, or however many else you have in the wedding there.
Yeah.
And as far as traditional churches and weddings, may I see what kind of church you got married in?
Yeah. Your question was what?
What kind of a church did you get married in that didn't have vows like this?
Said it wasn't.
We had a preacher of it,
ceremony.
and it was in our home.
Yeah. Susan, you've been very patient with us. What are your thoughts here? You've listened in on these calls. Anything you'd like to share with us?
The mother-in-law issue. I still love my mother-in-law and look forward to seeing her.
Of your ex-husband?
Yes.
She's not an ex-mother-in-law in your heart, then.
After knowing this woman for 20 years, I look forward to continue knowing her. It certainly did not get divorced to eliminate family. I like more family, and that's why I want more partners, to have more family and more family.
I see.
Yeah, I would like to say that, you know, over the last several hundred years, the traditional structure of family, you first had tribes and expanded family and nuclear family, this has been breaking down, and now you're left with the individual, and we need to recreate a context in which the individual can find themselves, and that's what we're doing.
And we'll be back in just a moment.
My question is, how does a spouse ask another spouse to go and do the things that the one spouse wants to do? Like if you wanted to...
wouldn't you be afraid that the other spouse would say, are you crazy? You know,
well, that's, and like the divorced couple, how one person, did you ask her for a divorce and say, well, I don't want a monogamous relationship anymore? That's... Who's she talking
Well, we were...
They're the divorced couple.
We had irreconcilable differences with the institution itself. We were totally compatible, but not with the concept of marriage.
And
that's why.
And you don't fool around.
Not yet.
No, but I don't know, Phil. This couple down the way is starting to look pretty good. No.
This woman wants to... How do you bring this up to a spouse without risking your whole life? I mean, the guy may...
If I said to my husband...
Honey, why don't we...
Yeah, why don't we have, why don't I have somebody else? I wouldn't be alive now.
A good way to do that. A good way to do that is to give them one of the books that have been written on the subject.
for your 11th anniversary, you could give them that. Yeah.
Deborah and Paul said that they got jealous occasionally. How do they deal with it? How do they handle their jealousy each other?
Yeah, well, when I feel jealous, I ask myself, what's wrong? What am I feeling jealous about? What's bothering me? And I'm a professional psychotherapist, so I've got a lot of skills at looking inside and saying, what's bugging me? And assuming that what's bugging me may be something that Paul's doing that I can ask him not to do, and not necessarily stop seeing the woman, but, you know, that I can ask for adjustments from him, from her, or it may have nothing to do with either of them. It may just be something about myself.
Now, are you there, caller?
Yes, I am.
You wanted to say?
I wanted to say I think this is crazy. My husband had an affair, and I believe that my God, the God I believe in, tells me to get married once. We worked through the affair. It's been hard. It's been awful, but we made it.
Yeah.
And we're going to keep on making it.
You speak for certainly the majority when you celebrate a monogamy. So I don't want you to misunderstand this. These people are saying, hooray for you. They're glad you've healed. They want you to be happy ever after, and we would all presume that you will be, especially after surviving this kind of ordeal. They are saying something else, however. They are saying that what you think is moral or normal is not necessarily a prescription to which everybody should have to subscribe.
Okay,
not all cultures, and certainly not in all times, have people been monogamous.
I'd like to ask this couple on the end, what is the concept of marriage?
For us, is it?
For you.
The stereotypical roles that the man and woman are expected to carry out, I think, are really damaging to your self-esteem. Particularly in my case, because I'm an artist, and whenever I would go to try to sell my work, they would invariably tell me that they would give the show to the man because he had to support a family, and, you know, that just made me sick.
Yeah.
I think that's...
I think marriage...
Is what?
Humans are being set apart from the animal kingdom by marriage. Because otherwise we'd be just busy with everybody.
Does it bother you that there's so much fooling around?
Yes, because this is what brings all kinds of diseases around.
Would you kindly push line 7 on the telephone for me, please? Thank you. Hi, caller. Go ahead.
Yes. I'm calling to say that I got married 14 years ago, and one of my gifts I gave my husband for our wedding present was another woman, and I see nothing wrong with it. And I've been married for 14 years. I'm happy. I have a friend. Her and her husband does, have friends, and they have asked me, but because my husband, just to talk about it, he cut the TV off today because, it's crazy to him. But as far as me, allowing him to do it, it's okay. But he could not even think of sharing me with another male or a male even seeing me.
So you allowed him to, but he would never allow you to.
Right.
Yeah.
And I see nothing wrong with it. I mean, okay, like I said, I've been married 14 years. It gets to be routine. It gets to be boring. And I think he would really be surprised at what it would do for our relationship.
If you were allowed to go out.
Right.
What would it do?
Put excitement in his life.
In his life.
With me and him.
But you're not going to do it as long as it's not okay with him.
That's right, because I love him.
I see. Does he still see other women?
No, he hasn't done it since that night.
Not since your wedding night has he seen another woman. Now I've heard everything. I'm glad you called. And happiness to you. Kiss your husband when he gets home.
I will.
And we'll be back in just a moment. What is this? Internet Resource Center is a Post Office Box 150474A, San Rafael, California 94915. Love without limits. Responsible non-monogamy. I don't ever want to see this on your person. The Quest for Sustainable Intimate Relationships is the book by Dr. Deborah M. Anapol you wanted to ask.
Did your parents' relationship or marriage have any effect on, like, your marriage?
Well, my parents were monogamously married for about 30 years until my father died. And it was, kind of, I do want to say, though, that my mother lives with us now and that she has 2 boyfriends.
Your mother is a widower. As a widow.
Yes.
Your mother is a widow,
yes.
And she sees 2... you don't want to convey the notion that, you owe it to your mother.
She read my book, and it convinced her.
She dates these guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just a comment. I've been very happily married for 8 years, and I could not conceive of being with another man because nobody could measure up to my husband.
Just a quick comment for the first couple. Just think about what would happen if in the future with your open lifestyle, you should find somebody that you like better than your spouse.
That can happen to monogamous couples, too.
And we aren't into trading up. We're into adding relationships.
Are you there, caller? Hi.
Yes, I am.
You wanted to say?
I just wanted to let them know that I support them fully. I'm not involved in a non-monogamous relationship right now, but I am involved in a non-traditional relationship. I am currently engaged to a man and a woman. We are going to be celebrating our anniversary on the 31st of October of this year. We consider ourselves a family unit. We are about to have our first child. And I don't think that the traditional person-to-person unit is for everybody.
Yeah.
I think that it should be expanded.
From what state are you calling?
New Jersey.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
So, Deborah and Paul, I really feel sorry for you. That you haven't been able to find the beauty in a monogamous relationation. Some deficiency in your personality has not enabled you to do that. Too bad.
Services provided and promotion.